Hello, my name is Abiel Fernandez. This project that we will talk about is about technical requirements for jewelry to access an international market. The introduction. First of all, we will talk about how global jewelry, the industry based on precious metals, are super high competitive and also are governed by high strict qualities and also standards. This report focuses on the specific access requirements for different type of companies exporting silver jewelry, particularly the silver 925, from Peru to the USA. This objective has the main object to identify the technical and also regulatory requirements that Peruvian jewelry exporters must need and have to access to the US market. Now we want to have a little of literature review. The first point we will have is the regulatory compliance. So exporting silver jewelry to the US requires super strict attachments to the different products. In this case, for jewelry standards and basically one of the categories are labeling and also having different regulations on it. According to the FTS, that's the Federal Trade Commission, jewelry must be accurately labeled by the type and purity of the metal. In this case, it could be sterling silver or 925, the one the company exports. Then, the safety and material standards. This research shows that the US consumers and authorities emphasizes safety based specifically in the products children market to children, because sometimes children like 1 or 2 years have their ear pierced and they put on earrings that are silver, no, and obviously they should comply on it and should take care of it. Then the silver jewelry must comply with safety regulations enforced by the CPSC, that's the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and this regarding leads cadmium content. Then the third point we're going to talk about are customs and tariff regulations. Custom and Border Protections, the CPB, requires correct tariff classifications and also adherence to import duties under the harmonized tariff. That's the ST, STS, specifically the STS 700 113.11 for silver jewelry. That's how we find it. The fourth point we will talk about are the free trade agreements. In this case, Peru benefits from the free trade agreement with the US that provides and reduces the tariff on jewelry exports. Now, the fifth point is the Porter's competitive advantage framework. This model emphasizes that companies can gain super edge competitive through cost leadership and also differentiation. Not only like exporting the good, but having value added, such as like jewelry with good designs and different things like we can see in the companies as Hilaria, that's a Peruvian company, which they export to different countries and also to the US. Access requirements for silver jewelry 925 in the US market. The definition and importance of this is that access requirements refer to criteria and also conditions that must be and need to successfully enter to the US, in this case to the market we're going, no? These requirements are super crucial and important to ensure safety, quality, also adherence to legal standards. The regulatory requirements are rules and guidelines set by governments, in this case by the U.S. authorities, that business should follow to enter to this particularly nation. The first point we're going to talk are labeling requirements. In this case, the jewelry must be labeled accurately with the type of metal is used, no? Such as sterling silver, silver plated, 925, sorry, the one we're using. Then materials and composition requirements. In the second point, we're going to talk about how the FTC regulates the composition of metals used in the jewelry. No, for example, products sold must have 92.5% silver. If other metals are mixed in or if the piece is plated, this must be clearly disclosed and should be super clear, no? To ensure that transparency about the jewelry that's actually being exported to this country. This requirement is especially important for allergic situations, reactions such as safety concerns. Mainly, some persons and girls have are allergic to different kind of earrings, but they only need like for example jewelry silver 925, and if this doesn't have the required label and the required basically silver, maybe it could be they could be damaged and it could be a problem for it. The third point is the country of origin. In this case, this must be labeled accurately on the product if it has a bearing on product quality or is required by the country importing the goods. For instance, if the jewelry is made in Peru, the labeling must reflect and show that item is made in Peru, as some products have like made in Peru, made in China. But in this case, we're exporting jewelry from Peru to the US. So all of the jewelry should be labeled as made in Peru. Now, talking about standard requirements, these are set by organizations such as the ASTM or the ISO, that they define technical specifications that products should meet. For instance, in this case, the ASTM B430-17, this outlines the purity requirement for the silver jewelry. No, the 3 points we will talk about the standard requirements of jewelry are the sterling silver standard. That's 92.5% purity. This must commonly be accepted or standards for silver jewelry in the US. Is sterling silver, which is composed of 92.5% silver and the 7.5% dollar percent should like be metals like as copper, gold, or other products. Then we have the fine silver, that's 99.9% purity. This is fine silver, which is 99.9% pure, super pure silver. And the third one is the quality marks, that are hallmarks. These are authentic silver jewelry that is often stamped with a hallmark, as we can see sometimes in the necklaces, earrings, or other things, with a hallmark that indicates that's purely silver 925 or sterling. These stamps ensure that the item meets the required silver content. The market requirements and relevant standards. To enter to the market of USA, this is what we're going to talk about. Market entry requirements involve basically the permissions and correct classifications products should have for tariffs. The CBP, that's the Custom and Border Protection, in the US requires accurate tariffs, classifications, and adherence to import duties under the Harmonized Tariff Schedule, that's the HTS, specifically HTS 700 113.11 for jewelry silver. To enter to the US, silver jewelry must also comply with import duties and tariff classifications under this harmonized tariff. We have the HTS, no, and have the appropriate classification to apply on the product type, no. In this case, the company should export silver 925. Then the other cases for silver jewelry, the classification falls under this code, that's 713.11. This is the proper classification and compliance to help avoid any delay or any problem of it, and also have and ensure that all the import taxes are paid correctly. No. Um, Now the next point we're gonna talk is are about the accreditation bodies. So in Peru, standards for the pure and silver, the purity to export the quality are managed by SENASA and INACAL. That's the instituto that is managed by the Instituto Nacional de Calidad. Yes, they ensure that jewelry meets international quality standards before they export. But in the US, we have the FTS, that's the Federal Trade Commission. This regulates the product labeling and also how it is defined. No, then we have the CPSC, that's a Consumer Product Safety Commission, that oversees product safety standards, ensuring importing jewelry complies with it if they have any toxic materials restrictions. No, as we said, they have super defined for the type of jewelry they export and goes into their nation. The competent authorities, the most known is that in Peru, the INECAL, as we say, they play a super key role to set and monitor compliance with quality standards. But in the US, we have these three. No, that's the CPB, Custom and Border Protection. Then we have the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and then we have the CPSC, as we say, Consumer Product Safety Commission. They oversee regulations for importing jewelry. No, in this case, the jewelry that's coming from Peru. Then the CPB, as we can see, they ensure correct tariffs, classifications, and custom duties, focusing on product labeling and also safety standards required, respectively, no, to each one. The key findings we have in this project are the compliance with US and Peruvian standards that are super crucial for market entry, particularly around purity, label, and safety. As we say, the purity should be as it's labeled, 925 or sterling. Then the leveraging Peru free trade agreement with the US provides a cost advantage for exporters, making silver more competitive also in the terms of price. No, this makes it more easy to export from Peru to the US with this free trade agreement and have also good prices to sell on the US. The third point is the sustainability and ethical sourcing that are super increasing nowadays, important to the US consumer, and also complying with environmental standards that they can give companies a market edge. In conclusion, we say that Peruvian silver jewelry exporters to succeed in the US markets should understand and comply. They should know all the companies that are from Peru exporting jewelry that with access requirements such as regulatory compliance, safety standards, and also custom regulations is super essential for any company. If you are basically a pyme, a super small business that want to export, you should have this regulatory super known. What are the different types of bodies that you need to go through to export your jewelry to the US? Then also, by adhering to these requirements and also leveraging existing trade agreements, exporters can overcome market entry barriers and also capitalize on the opportunities in the US jewelry market. As we say, we have different competitions. There are also other countries that export their jewelry to the US, maybe in China, that's super cheap, also in India and other countries. But we have also these tariffs and good trade agreements that Peru has with the US that can help anyone who wants to export to to this country. Thank you.